Silence.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, as adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by mailing the annual schedule of meetings to the Star-Ledger, Union County Hawk, Union County Local Source, and Tappan to Clark, by posting such annual meeting schedule on the bulletin board in Town Hall reserved for such announcements, the official website of the township, and the proper filing of said notice. Formal action may be taken at this meeting.
Okay, I see Councilman Smith has just joined us. Welcome. Thank you. Okay, at this time.
Okay.
Excuse me. Okay, at this time we'll move on to communications from the mayor and the reports of township officers. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Madam President, members of council, and ladies and gentlemen here tonight and at home. I'd like to take a moment to just thank Ralph Bernardo and his volunteer and his staff and everyone who attended and participated in this year's tree and menorah lighting. It was fabulous, as always, fabulous. And I thank Ralph and his team that which composed a lot of volunteers. You know, I read something on Facebook that Ralph lit the tree a little bit earlier, and he did, and it was cold, and the volunteers have had it, and then somebody said, well, it's a great free event, and then another person said, no, it's our tax dollars. Well, half right. Some of that tree lighting is from tax dollars, and a lot of that tree lighting is from Ralph getting donations from so many generous residents and businesses in town, and he always has a board posted with them. So, you know, we shouldn't take nothing for granted. I don't think there's another town in Union County that can host a tree lighting like Ralph and the Recreation Department does. And, of course, with my support and council support, we do appreciate the tree and menorah lighting. I want to thank everyone who attended Breakfast with Santa. We had 990 people there. It was great. The kids were animated seeing Santa, and I think some families got some really beautiful pictures for their Christmas cards. We are in our last call for leaves. Please, folks, get them out. I mean, they should be out and done by now. But, you know, it ended a week ago, but we always do continue to go around for the Johnny-come-lately or the Janie-come-latelys, however you want to call it. But please get them out and keep the branches out of them. With snow season approaching us, and hopefully a little bit, I'd just like to remind everybody, I always recommend, it's not a law, there are snow streets that we have emergencies that you do have to remove cars over. But if we get over 3 inches of snow and you can remove your car off the street, it helps DPW greatly to plow and make it curb to curb and do a better job for you. But hopefully we won't have to talk about too much of that. And the other thing is to help the Clark Police out a little bit. This is our shopping season, a lot of online, a lot of Amazon and the rest of those companies out delivering. If you're going to have stuff left on your porch and you're not home, work something out with a neighbor or something, because there's always porch pirates running around. I think this year we haven't had too many, or if any, in Clark, but it happens, and all it takes is a split second. They go off with your package, and bad enough it's your package, but bad enough it might be something someone really wanted from Santa Claus that they may not be able to get in time. So help the police. If you see anything suspicious, folks, please do not run to Clark Neighbors and report it. Call the PD. I always see these things on Clark Neighbors, and the first thing I say is, did you call the PD? Because if you're going to Facebook before you go to RPD, you got it backwards, plain and simple. So if there's anything suspicious, call the PD. They'll be glad to come out. They've always have done that. I've never heard our department complaining about any call they may get, whether it's real or, you know, something someone perceives. Just call them, they'll be out. And speaking to the police department, For the month of November, there was 150 motor vehicle stops, 26 directed radar details, and 10 traffic enforcement details. The other thing is, too, folks, please be careful this time of year with sun glare. It's really bad out there once the trees drop their leaves, so please be careful driving. Take it easy. If you're going to decide to drink and drive at the holiday season, there's a thing called Uber, Lyft, station cab, hitchhike, whatever you want to do. Don't drive and endanger other people's lives. It's crazy to do that. Drink responsibly, have fun responsibly, and enjoy our great holiday season. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll move on to council reports. Councilman Steve Hund.
Thank you, Council President. Excuse me. I have the November Clark Police Department monthly report. We saw a total of 1,844 calls for service, including but not limited to 128 ambulance requests, 70 alarm calls, 1 arrive request, which is for mental health behavior emergency calls, 1 criminal mischief, 9 fire department requests, 4 fraud and identity theft, 6 motor vehicle and residential lockouts, 90 motor vehicle accidents, 26 shoplifting and theft, 162 were 911 calls, 1,164 were miscellaneous calls. There were a total of 18 adult arrests, including but not limited to 15 for shoplifting and 1 for warrants. The Youth Bureau handled a total of 10 cases, including but not limited to 1 for criminal mischief, 2 for offenses against the family, 5 for all other offenses, and 10 were all 10 were in-house disposition. That concludes my report. Thank you very much.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes, thank you, Council President. This is my DPW report for this evening. Leaf collection will end December 19th. Make a note of that, please. Please leave a 1-foot distance between the leaves and the curve to allow for water runoff in case it rains, and no branches. The leaf piles will not be picked up if there are branches in it. Please remember this. Clark Public Works does not pick up leaves on county roads. Please make a note of that and remember this. If there are county roads in town, the leaves will not be picked up by the township. They are picked up with county DPW. Okay? Please remove all your basketball hoops and soccer nets from the roadway. In case we have a snow event, we don't want to have any damage to any of the nets or our equipment. So please remove them as soon as possible. Electronic drop-off will resume on January 25th, 2025. Branch pickup for 2024 is complete. Please remove all branches from the roadway. There will be no branches picked up until spring cleanup in March 2025. Bulky and appliance pickup resumes on March 2025, weather permitting. And all other pickups, if you care to have them done, you must make an appointment. It is required for your scheduled pickup. DPW is making available outside the gate in the DPW yard 16-inch wood for free for the taking. Do not make a mess. If the bin is empty, we will replenish it as it becomes available. And please, no log splitters or chainsaws will be permitted. And for any other scheduled pickups, email dpw@ourclark.com or dpw or www.ourclark.com to look at any scheduled pickups that we may have for the following remainder of this year. Thank you. That's the extent of my report.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Councilman Minetti.
Thank you. In the month of November, the Clark Fire Department responded to 47 calls, totaling 478 for the year. The calls included, but are not limited to, numerous odors and alarm calls. There was one call for mutual aid from another town. 5 calls were from motor vehicle incidents. One of them was a rollover on a Garden State Parkway. There was one call for a mulch fire, and several calls were for smoke alarms regarding unattended cooking. So as we enter the holiday season, just the Clark Fire Department would like to remind everyone to make sure that you attend your cooking at all times. As always, I'd like to thank the members of the Clark Fire Department for their hard work and dedication in keeping our town safe. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Minetti. Councilman O'Connor.
Thank you. From the Finance Committee, the township continues to be able to meet its current obligations. And from the Clark Volunteer Emergency Squad, recent squad activities, the squad provided medical coverage for the township's tree lighting, as well as coverage for the high school Friday night football games. The call volume is as follows. There were 137 calls in November with 4 mutual aid calls. Total hours responding to calls is approximately 890 man-hours. This does not include any hours the members are on duty but not on calls. Year-to-date call volume is 1,316 calls. With regard to membership, anyone interested in becoming a member can email the squad at www.rclark.com, where the applications can be found. Do you have a unique set of skills? The squad is looking for associate members. These are members that support the efforts of the squad with community relation activities, fundraising, and recruitment efforts, but do not respond to calls. If interested, please reach out to the squad via their website on rclark.com. Servicing the community. The squad hosted 2 blood drives in November. Remember, each pint of blood saves 3 lives. And please check the lawn sign for all upcoming blood drives. Holiday giving, help. The holiday fund drive has been mailed. The squad ambulances are aging quickly and require repairs on more regular basis. We are looking to remount one of the ambulances so it will have a new Ford chassis. The cost is about $200,000. Additionally, we are looking to repurchase a power lift stretcher for our patients that will also reduce the risk of back injuries to our responders. Each stretcher is approximately $60,000, so we can use all the help they can get to make this happen. Respectfully submitted, Lori Sheldon, Trustee. That concludes my reports.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Councilman Smith?
Thank you, Council President Albanese. The Pool and Recreation Report. The tree and menorah lighting was another huge success. Was attended by over 1,500 residents. I want to thank Ralph, Emily, Lambert, and all the volunteers who helped set up and decorate the Brewer Township Municipal Building. Registration for all winter rec classes is taking place now. Information is available on our website, or you can stop by the Recreation office and ask Emily or Ralph for any information or questions. The indoor soccer begins January 3rd and 4th. The house decorating contest winners will be selected this week. The Clark Family Skate Night at Warrenanko Park is scheduled for Saturday, January 18th, and tickets are on sale in the Recreation office. The New Jersey Devils and Clark Hockey Night is scheduled for Tuesday, January 14th at the Prudential Center in Newark. Tickets can be purchased on the Clark website or the New Jersey Devils website. All Clark attendees will be sitting together in one section, and there'll be pictures on the ice afterwards. And if you have any questions on anything rec-related, you can contact Ralph Bernardo at 732-428-8400. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Councilman Toll?
Thank you, Madam President. From the Environmental Commission, this Wednesday, December the 18th, was supposed to be the December meeting for the Environmental Commission, and this Wednesday they've canceled it due to basically with the holidays. They're going to reschedule it for Wednesday, January the 15th, 2025. All are welcome. Again, the Environmental Commission is here to make sure we keep our town clean, green, and safe, always. Another issue, before this meeting, I spoke to the business administrator, and I asked him, could he give a little bit more insight, because I've been getting texts and voicemails with regards to this drone hysteria that's going on in New Jersey and the United States right now. And I have no idea how to respond to it because I have no jurisdiction or any say in it. It's nothing to do with a councilman. But I just want to know what the township's doing, dealing with it at this time. If the BA, through the president, could say something, or what's going on the latest. I appreciate it, Jimmy. Thank you.
There was a mayor's meeting the other day in Trenton. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend, and with the aftermath, I'm kind of glad I wasn't unable, because it was a waste of complete time. Nothing was said, nothing was done. Actually, Assemblyman Brian Bergen from Morris County walked out in the middle of it. He said it was the biggest waste of time he's ever seen. There's nothing to report. There's nothing to really say. I was just telling the two captains here that John Kirby from the Biden administration was on TV before. I was watching it before the meeting, and he said he thinks it's hobbyists, licensed drones, things of that nature. We really don't know. Our next great president who's taken over couldn't be soon enough. Donald Trump said today, you can bet assured that the U.S. government knows exactly who, what, and where they are, but they're just not saying. I don't think it poses a threat. No one seems to believe that at this time. We're only telling you what we can do. Watch them go over it. There's nothing local government or local police can do about it at this time. There's an FBI hotline number. Report it to them if you like. There's been so many sightings, I'm sure they're inundated with it. And we just got to play it through to see what the federal government has to say eventually. Tomorrow there's a congressional meeting in D.C. So maybe Congressman Kane will be able to come back with some information for his constituent districts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, and Jimmy. Thank you, Madam President. I'm all done.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. I'll have the library report from Megan Kolochik, our director of the library. During the month of November, there were 6,782 visitors to the library, and they recorded 5,168 website visits. The library has acquired through a donation a color poster printer, and its technology will be offered to the public. They have set up a fee schedule, so if you're interested in creating a poster, you can use that printing service, which is now available at the library. Some of the activities for the month of December for families and children, there'll be gingerbread houses for kids, 3:30 to 4:15, this Wednesday, December 18th, and that is from 4:15. And then also, the following day on Thursday, there'll be a program for kids, same program, Making a Gingerbread House, and this is for ages children 5 through 9 and tweens 10 through 12. That's going to be in the evening at 6:30 to 7:15. So trying to make all the programs available to different families who have different times available. There'll be a family movie matinee on December 22nd, and that will be for children, preschool, everyone, basically, from 3 years old to adults. And that's at 2 to 3:45, and that'll be in the community room. On December 27th, there'll be finger painting Friday, a special program for kids up ages 2 through 9, and that will be in the children's activity room, 10 to 10:30 a.m. And to wrap up the year, they'll have a New Year's Eve countdown for kids, 11:30 to 12:15. That's in the morning, though, and that will be for ages 3 through 12, and that will be in the children's activity room. Some of the programs coming up in early January, there'll be a winter reading challenge, and this is for everyone. And as you log in the books that you've read, and it'll be held from January 6th to March 10th, they'll track your progress in the Beanstack app, and prizes will be awarded for participation in that event. On Tuesday, January 14th, Rubber Ducky Day celebration for kids. There'll be a Rubber Ducky crafts and games. And that concludes my report on the library. I would just like to thank everyone who has supported the Friends of the Library, and thank you to Karen DeMarco and all the members of the Friends of the Library. Karen's our president, and for the generous contributions they've made throughout the year to the Friends of the to the library for different supplies and for programs that they have funded throughout the year. And that concludes my report for the library. So at this point, we'll continue. Do you want to make your announcement about the reports? of the officers?
All of the reports given this evening will be available on the website as soon as these minutes are typed and they go up there. Next is ordinances, appropriations, and claims. Public hearings on proposed ordinances, and for the record, no objections have been received in connection with the proposed ordinances. First is 24-15, an ordinance amending and restating Chapter 195, Land Use and Development of the Code of the Township of Clark. As you know, this was introduced on November 18th. The full ordinance, which is well over 500 pages, has been available on the website. You just go to ourclark.com, go on to the Government tab, and you'll see ordinances and resolutions. It also went before the Planning Board at their December meeting. They have a resolution regarding this ordinance saying that it is consistent with our master plan, and so now the public hearing.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open up this ordinance for a public hearing. If there's anyone who wishes to come forward, please do so at this time. Seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close this portion of the hearing.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to direct a motion to adopt the ordinance.
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Do I have a second?
I'll second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, you can call the roll.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti. Yes. Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toole.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Next is ordinance 24-16, an ordinance establishing an exemption from the fee for filing of annual registration of certificate of insurance for businesses and rental units and multifamily homes with 4 or fewer units within the Township of Clark pursuant to NJSA 40A:10A-2.
Okay, so this ordinance will preclude nonprofits for having to pay the fee. At this time, I'd like to open up this ordinance to the public. Is there anyone wishing to come forward, speak on this ordinance? Seeing no one, I'd like to a motion to close this portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to adopt the ordinance.
I'll move it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll when you're ready?
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti. Yes. Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toole.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Next is ordinance 24-17, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to fix minimum and maximum salaries.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open up this ordinance for a public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to come forward? Seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close this portion of the meeting on the hearing.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Minetti. Do I have Councilman Smith?
I'll
Thank you
second
for the
that.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, we'll have a motion to adopt the ordinance.
I'd like to move that, please.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Minetti. Okay, this is for all non-union employees, minimum and maximums. Okay. Madam Clerk, when you're ready?
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toole.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Next is ordinance 24-18, an ordinance to supplement Section 51 of Chapter 347 entitled Vehicles and Traffic of the Code of the Township of Clark.
I'd like to open up this ordinance public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to come forward? Seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close this portion of the meeting. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Thank you, Councilman Hund. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to pass the ordinance, adopt it. Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, can you call the roll?
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti. Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted.
Okay, at this time, we'll move on to the payment of claims. Councilman O'Connor, can you give your report, please?
Thank you. I have reviewed the bills totaling $386,402.26. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll open up the meeting to the citizens' hearing on the agenda. If there's anyone wishing to come forward to discuss items that are on this evening's agenda, please do so at this time. Seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close this portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Thank you, Councilman Hund. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, at this time, we'll move on to resolutions on the agenda.
First resolution is a public hearing authorizing the submission of an application for funding for the Year 51 Community Development Block Grant.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open up this portion of the, open up the public hearing for the applications for the Community Development Block Grant Program. Seeing no one coming forward, can I have a motion to close this portion of the meeting? Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt the resolution? Thank you, Councilman Toll. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll when you're ready?
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti. Yes. Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Okay, next is authorizing the transfer of funds within the 2024 municipal budget.
Council, do I have a motion?
I'll move that, please.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Roll call when you're ready, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti. Yes. Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Number 7 is award of on-call general contractors list through a fair and open process for 2025.
Council, do I have a motion?
Yes, I'll move it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Maniti. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk, when you get a chance.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti. Yes. Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Number 8 is authorizing a 1-year contract extension to Lawsoft for information technology and network support services for 2025.
Do I have a motion, Council?
So moved, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Roll call when you're ready, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Number 9 is authorizing the business administrator to enter into a contract with Inservco Insurance Services as the claims servicing organization in the amount of $16,720 for 2025, $17,220 for 2026, and $17,730 for 2027.
Do I have a motion, Council?
I'd like to move that, please.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, can you call the roll?
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti. Yes. Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Number 10 is supporting amendment of the Fair Housing Act as proposed by the New Jersey Institute of Local Government Attorneys.
Do I have a motion, Council?
I'll move that, please.
And I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor and Smith. Okay. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Number 11 is authorizing final payment to DLS Contracting for work completed on the 2023 NJDOT road project Stonehenge Terrace Road Improvements in the amount of $13,102.93.
Thank you, Councilman Minetti. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Roll call when you're ready, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Number 12 is amending the council's meeting calendar to cancel the January 6th, 2025 workshop meeting and add a regular meeting on Wednesday, January 29, 2025 at 430 Westfield Avenue, 7 p.m., where action may be taken.
Okay, do I have a motion? Thank you, Councilman Minetti.
I'll second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Can I have a roll call when you're ready, Madam Clerk?
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes. Okay, at this time, we have some new business to add to the agenda. Sorry, no, we're going to stick with consent agenda.
Yes. Consent agenda items are as follows. First is authorizing the police chief to issue clothing bin permits for the year 2025. Next is authorizing the tax collector to refund overpayment of sewer fees in the amount of $762.77. Next is authorizing the tax collector to apply sewer account balance adjustments as credit in the amount of $3,250. Number 16 is authorizing the tax collector to refund overpayment of taxes in the amount of $29,974.41. And last is authorizing the tax collector to make the proper adjustments for 100% property tax exemption of Block 49, Lot 2, in accordance with a directive from the United States Department of Veterans Affairs.
Do I have a motion to adopt, Council?
I'll move that, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Councilman Toll, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Minetti. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, would you call the roll, please?
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Now we have one item of new business.
mm-hmm.
It is authorizing a developer's agreement with TKG Pro One LLC of Woodbridge for the tract of land located at 1085 Central Avenue.
Okay, since this is a new item, we need to add it to the agenda, so we need a, do I have a motion to add this item to the agenda, Council?
Yes, I'll move it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. All in favor? Or do we need a roll call on that, please?
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes. Okay,
Motion to adopt.
motion to adopt, yeah, I saw the discussion above. We'll put that here. Do I have a motion to adopt?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Mr. Ulrich, do you want to make some points?
We've been working on this agreement for, I guess, about a month now, and, just to highlight some of the, items in this, and it's a standard developers agreement. The key here is, the compliance with the township ordinances, that they have to post a performance guarantee, inspections and approvals by the township engineer and the zoning officer and the building inspector. We will, and it also details all of their maintenance responsibility. That includes stormwater maintenance, site cleanliness during the construction, insurance and liabilities, how how much general liability, vehicle insurance, workers' comp, et cetera, and to indemnify the town against any claims, paying the taxes and fees. Any type of off-track improvements, these include road work, sidewalks, and utilities that were approved by the planning board or required by the planning board. And other conditions that are associated with this are the agreement allows for the transfer of property under specific terms. It also that requires all the utilities must be installed underground unless we approve them, and just general items within the construction zone on what type of equipment they need to keep, porta potties, making sure that there's enough. So it's just the standard. There's nothing outside of the normal developer's agreement.
Council, does anyone have any further questions on this? I think it was apparent in everything that we read about it. Okay, at this point, we'll go on to a roll call.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Albanese.
Yes. Okay, at this point, we'll move on to public comments. Is there anyone from the public who would like to come forward at this point? Seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close this portion of the meeting. Thank you, Councilman Toll. Do I have a second?
Second that.
Okay, thank you, Councilman O'Connor. All in favor? Okay, at this time, we'll move on to mayor, council, and professional comments. Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. For our last meeting of the 2024 year, very quiet, very easy one. And I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Please enjoy it. It's family time of year, and enjoy it and have a good time, and think about those who are maybe less fortunate and see what we can do to help them out. There's a lot of food drives going on. Council had one last week. It was very good, and I thank the council for that. A lot of toy drives going on. Do whatever you can do to help the people who are having a hard time out. It's a very nice thing to do at this time of holiday season. And again, for myself and my family, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Hund?
Thank you, Council President. Just want to thank our police department for the wonderful job they keep doing every month, keeping the town safe. Our numbers, I see, are actually down this month from previous months, maybe possibly the lowest I've seen in 10 years with the number of calls. So that's a good sign. So thank you very much, captains, for doing your job, and for your men staying safe and doing their job. And also just want to wish everyone a healthy and happy holiday season, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Councilman Mazzarella?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. First, I'd just like to give an extra shout out to our DPW and our personnel at Public Works. With an excellent job you've been doing this past year, keeping our town clean and safer for all of the residents in our town. You've responded very quickly, and excellent job. And to all the residents, I want to wish everybody a very happy and healthy Christmas, and happy Hanukkah, and happy holidays. Be well, stay safe, and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Councilman Minetti?
Thank you, Council President. First, I'd like to thank the Clark Fire Department. Over the weekend, they had drove Santa around town. It was just great to see the kids outside waving the Santa. Just a wonderful job by Chief Sarasa and his team. Just want to say thank you. It was great. Also, the house decorators, I know it was mentioned, but a lot of houses in Clark are decorated. It looks beautiful this time of year. So if you get a chance, just drive around, because it's an absolutely wonderful time of the year. With that, for my family and yours, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, and I wish all of you a safe, happy, and prosperous 2025. Thank you.
Councilman O'Connor?
Thank you. Yes, I did have the opportunity to get to see Santa as he drove by in the fire truck, so I know it's been a tradition in the town by the fire department. Again, volunteers their whole day out driving around Santa. So once again, thank you to the fire department and all the volunteers within the town. With the holidays coming, I'm assuming the emergency squad might be a little busier than usual, so thank you to them as well. And I believe the police department actually was escorting Santa Claus around, weren't they? So thank you to those police officers as well, and to the police department. There's a song by Andy Williams titled, "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year." So hoping this is the most wonderful time of the year for you and your families. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. Good night.
O'Connor. Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or any other holiday that you celebrate, and have a happy, healthy New Year, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Toll.
Thank you, Madam President, and congratulations on a fine job you did this year, Angel. Good health to you, and again, through a difficult time, but we're here for you always. Those we lost in the last month, Catherine Reichers. Mrs. Reichers was a longtime resident of Catherine Street. I knew her as a child growing up because I used to play with her children. To Patty, Chucky, Pam, and Paula. Chucky was a year older than me, but he used to beat me up every other once in a while. Chuck, I always bring that up and make him laugh about that. But it was a great family. Clark kids growing up in town, helping one another out. Their parents were wonderful parents, and they were blessed. We were blessed knowing them. And Mrs. Reichers lived to an older age. God bless her. I don't like talking about ages of residents, but just want to say to the Reichers family, our condolences. We will never forget your mom and your dad, especially. What's going on? As you see next to me, I have a photo. Of course, it's the holidays. You're supposed to bring out the old photos. What you're seeing here, if they behind the booth can zoom in on this photo, please, right here. Come on, zoom in. You can do it. Go the opposite way. Not on me, but on that. We have a photo of the old town hall that was in front of this building. This is from 1957. And what they used to do is they used to have a nativity scene in front of the building with livestock, like what it goes on at St. John's today. Well, they used to do that at Clark, Westfield Avenue, 315 Westfield Avenue, at the old firehouse and the old police building or municipal building, which was upstairs. The fire trucks were downstairs, and they had the meeting room upstairs. We had one room for one group of citizens, and if there was an issue, they went down a stairwell and went out on the front lawn with a speaker. But on this building, the township clerk was responsible for feeding the animals every morning. The firemen or the public works were then responsible to go out and clean up after them after every day, and they would be fed and so on, and they'd be there for the children to come in, pet and play with, and get to know livestock and the farm animals. That's Clark from back in the day. The building was removed. The building was added onto, I should say. It was only removed a couple of years ago when we put this new building up, but it's called Progress. And that's what I say to you tonight. We're finishing up 2024, the 24th year of our 21st century, and we're going into the 2025 year. I'm just going to say this. Have a healthy and happy holidays. Never forget where you came from. There's no place like home. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not going to repeat some of the things that were said about all the holiday celebrations, but I do encourage you, if you haven't seen all the Christmas trees that are decorated at Town Hall, this is your last chance this week, well, this week and next week, to go see them, and it is a sight to see. I want to thank all the citizens for making contributions during the food drive. We were out there last weekend, the council members collecting food, and thank you. This is, I guess, our second or third year doing it, and I'm sure we're going to continue doing that, but people are in need of food even beyond the holidays, so please keep that in mind. And also, as was mentioned by Councilman O'Connor, please make donations to the squad and also to the fire department, too, who are having their fund drives at this point in time. And that concludes my report. And yes, oh, I'm sorry,
That's
Councilman
okay.
O'Connor.
I just wanted
Go ahead.
to thank the clerk in her office for all the hard work they did this year and the support you give us, so thank you very much.
Yes, that's the team that makes this operation work up here each month and at our workshop meetings. Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. So thank you. I'd like to wish you all a happy, healthy new year. See you next year. And I'd like to get some reports from our administrators here. Mr. Ulrich?
Yeah, so just to follow up on Councilman Toll's question on the drones, there was also a call today with the special assistance to the president in intergovernmental affairs. And pretty much a couple of things that did come out of it, that there are over 1 million licensed drones in the country. So that's something to keep in mind when you see these drones. There wasn't a lot of additional information that came out of this meeting. There was a lot of comments back and forth from, some of the people on the call about why now. There was no answer. Where were these drones in September, October, now that they're here? There was also some discussion by the FBI and the Homeland Security saying that a lot of these been determined to be manned aircraft, that, depending on distance and speed, it could appear to be hovering. Again, it was met with some skepticism from some of the people on the call, but there was, a lot of dialogue back and forth, but again, back to the original comment, there really are no answers to why, when, and where are they coming from. So, they are putting out some additional radar and trying to identify, where they're coming and going, but, there's a lot of things that are going on there. The other thing I wanted to bring up is that the Turnpike Authority is having a meeting tomorrow in Woodbridge at, it's at 1 Turnpike Plaza in Woodbridge at 9 a.m. And, if any of the residents want to attend to discuss the situation about being able to take boats under the parkway. I know, I think Councilman Toll's going to try to make it, based on the discussions. And so any of the residents are also welcome to attend the meeting. Other than that, I don't have much more, other than, everybody have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. We had another great year working with the council president, and I could tell you no one's going to be as happy as getting 195 put behind us, the 500 pages and the, 40 calls and emails from the council on different questions. And I'm sure our counselor will reiterate that, because a lot of them ended up going back to him. But it was a big lift, and appreciate everybody's interest and how detailed everybody went through it. So it was a lot of good conversations. And again, thanks, Edie. I send her all these crazy things all the time. I think we got things already for April's meeting next year. I'm like, here, put this in your April folder, because I'm going to lose it somewhere on my desk. But again, worked well. And all the other departments within the town, DPW, health, finance. It's been construction, police department, fire department, ambulance squad. Recreation, I didn't think I got them all now. It's been a great year and worked well with everybody, and I appreciate everybody's cooperation and assistance throughout the year. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Madam Clerk.
I just want to say thank you, Council President. Great job this year. It's always a pleasure to work with you, this council, mayor, business administrator, and I'm looking forward to next year. Happy holidays to all of you and your families, as well as all of the residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor?
I will just reiterate that everyone have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.